What a headshot! What a head!
How's it guys, this is Dayvy, FPL, and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video, I'll be taking you through my very own team selection for the upcoming double game week 33. So now the double game week 32 has concluded, we can shift all our attention to the upcoming double game week where I won't be using a chip, but you guys are probably. So literally this week is just about preserving my rank as far as possible, and if I can manage a green arrow, that'll be extremely lucky. So since game week 32 only ended last night, I'll be going over a quick recap of how the game week ended and what's the overall rank looking like going to double game week 33. Then I'll be jumping into all that goodness with 2 free transfers. I need to probably use both, and I've gone for a safe option as well as a spicy differential one. So if you guys want to see my transfer plan as well as my final team selection for the upcoming double game week 33, sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. So doing a quick recap of how game week 32 ended, obviously last night Newcastle taking on Crystal Palace, and that was a pretty one-sided game. So let's start off with the kind of worst side of it, Crystal Palace conceding 5 goals, unlucky if you guys went for Glasner, but even more unlucky for us Eze owners, him missing a penalty going to -1. So literally, how often do you guys see an attacker losing points in a fixture? But if you guys haven't seen the penalty he took, it was a pretty terrible one. So I guess what could have been Eze on penalties is just what you want. And if you did convert that chance, straight differential points. So Ismail Assar actually did outperform Eze even though he only got 1 assist in this game week. But they both beat out Mateta, who was sub for the 60th minute mark in both fixtures. So even though Glasner came out and said that Mateta was going to start the second game, didn't even give him 60 minutes, don't really know what's up there. The only saving grace is the fact that I didn't go for someone like a Munoz. I did say that I did prefer these fixtures from an attacking to defensive point of view. So if you guys do own Munoz, I think he ended on -1, correct me if I'm wrong, after racking up a yellow card and conceding 5 goals last night. So even though Eze got -1, he did make up for it in the first game, but pretty disappointing, would have loved a goal from either of them. Then on the better side of the fixture, Newcastle assets, definitely the king of the game week is going to be Murphy. He got a goal, assist, 3 bonus points for a 14-pointer haul last night. Isaac also managed to get a goal but missed so many big chances he was nowhere near the bonus points. And then Dan Burn racked up a yellow card for arguing even though his team was leading 5-0. Don't you know what was happening there? I don't really know why he racked up the yellow card. He is now 1 off a suspension. Not to worry though, as his double game weeks are now ended. Once again, Livramento did outperform Dan Burn. It just proves that extra 0.1 should have gone to him. But he did create a big chance that Isaac ended up missing in the second half. So I think if you guys did end up going for the Isaac triple captaincy, 11 points isn't too bad. Any double-digit return I think is worthy of the triple captaincy. I unfortunately wasted it on Erling Haaland when he racked up about 5 XG in that game early in the season. So comparing to my triple captain, I think that you guys will definitely take 11 points. Now if you guys don't know, in game week 32's double I did activate my bench boost, and that netted me a total of 14 points. Now we did discuss this in the transfer plan early in the week. I usually say 15 points is the minimum that I would want, so 14 points feels like a little bit of an L. When I do compare this bench though to other people's benches for game week 32, I think 14 points is probably on the higher end of the spectrum. I'm really jealous though of you game week 33 bench boosters. The benches I've seen look very good, especially with the form that Newcastle are showing at the current moment. So in terms of the rank update, we have dropped slightly to 55k, that's a total of 93 points for double game week 32. In the comments down below, how did your game week go? Was it a good, a bad, or a terrible one? I'm also interested to see if you guys did bench boost, what overall points did you guys end on with the bench? Be honest though, don't bench some of your best players. Now just to confirm that I did bench my bench options, let's go over the starting 11. Verbruggen had the better fixture than Edison but ended with less points. Same with Neco Williams as well as Saliba. It's a little bit unfortunate there that the Arsenal clean sheet was wiped out. I did bring in Kirill as my Gabriel replacement, and I was quite happy to see that he ended up starting. Dan Burn in the first game took the memo blank, but at least in the second one he got a clean sheet. Otherwise it would have been a full house of blanks for our defense. Then our midfield department, we had 2 single game week players, that's both Mo Salah and Cole Palmer, both racking up an assist. Only difference, Cole Palmer ended up on a yellow card. So that's going to wrap up our starting 11. As mentioned, 93 points, 55k. That top 10k finish is looking a little bit worse for wear though. I always want to see what you guys are dealing with for the upcoming game weeks. Just remember, with all these chips, some massive strides can be made. So let me know how that overall rank is looking at this stage of the season. But now let's head on to my actual team selection or current team selection for double game week 33. I'll probably be using both free transfers though. So the bench this week kind of picks itself unfortunately, or use single game week players, mainly the Newcastle assets, Murphy and Dan Burn. But with the current Murphy form, maybe I should actually be starting him. Then Neco Williams, even though I do think Nottingham Forest can keep the clean sheet, probably one of the worst fixtures out of my defenders. Then Verbruggen on the bench because Edison at the moment has the double game week, but I'll probably be taking him out or at least benching him with the current injury situation. So the only news that we have at the current moment are rumours that he might be out for a number of weeks, but I'm going to wait and see what Pep says in the conference coming up on Friday. But as mentioned, probably one of the reasons why I have to use 2 free transfers because of the Edison injury. Very unlucky to be honest. At least I do have some Man City coverage. I got Guardiola with Everton and Aston Villa. Definitely favouring that first fixture though. There could be clean sheets here against Aston Villa, probably not with the current Man City defensive form. And with Guardiola playing centre back, his attacking threat has gone down dramatically. So let's see what happens. I guess there could be some changes, but definitely will be keeping Guardiola for the double game week and is happy to have some Man City coverage. Then in our backline, we have the double up of Saliba plus Kiwior, obviously bringing him in last game week. Pretty happy that I went for that move, as I would have gone for him anyways. Now these 2 fixtures probably the best on the kind of double game week marker. Ipswich away is a great fixture, and with the Crown Crystal Palace form, there might be a clean sheet. At least I hope so with the double up in defense. Both these 2 assets probably the most nailed out of that backline at the current moment, and Kiwior's putting in some great performances even in the Champions League. Then our midfield department also looks pretty good. We've got Mo Salah single game week, but it is against Leicester. Could he actually be an outside Kamsi punt? I might not go there. I might have double game week fever, but I do think he's a safe option. And I can see Liverpool scoring a few goals. Hopefully Mo Salah's involved. Then not much expectation is going to come from our Crystal Palace midfielders, Bournemouth at home and Arsenal away. I could actually see blanks in both those fixtures. With the current form they're showing, it's not looking good. Let's just hope against Bournemouth they can kind of rebound. At least both these assets should be nailed. Then our final player, and probably going to be transferred out, is going to be Cole Palmer. The current form isn't looking good, and Chelsea do play tonight in the Conference League. It just depends on which replacement I go for Cole Palmer. The form is definitely not going to be there. Then up front, starting off with another single game week player, it's going to be Isaac. I might forgive him for those big chances missed and play him against Aston Villa. I just kind of feel like Newcastle are showing great attacking form and Isaac is looking good. Not the worst kind of single game week player if I had to select him. There could be a small debate between him and Murphy, who would have thought, but I still feel more confident in Isaac in terms of him being nailed and on penalties. Wish I could say the same about Mateta, just doesn't seem nailed and on penalties at the current moment, although after that Eze miss, he should be. Just does worry me how he's being subbed after 60 minutes continuously. Don't you know if it's a tactical thing or if his fitness is not going to be there? Guess that might be something that comes up in the press conference. But like with Eze and Saw, not great fixtures here, but I guess I do favour them from an attacking to defensive point of view. Let's see if these assets can outperform Munoz once again. Then the final player and our captain at the moment just has the best fixtures as Mamouche from Man City at striker position. But if I do bring in someone like a Saka, the Kamsi might switch over. Just feel like he's the best option. There shouldn't be too much rotation even though the FA Cup semi-final is coming up. And Man City at least are scoring a bunch of goals, but Mush isn't just that involved though. Would have really loved if he was more of a talisman, but I guess that's just the way Man City plays without Erling Haaland. Still feel like it's enough to captain though. It might be down to the Egyptians once again, but if I do bring in Saka, probably shift over to him. Just seems like Arsenal in great form at the moment. So this starting 11 and kind of bench is going to be what my team looks like with 2 free transfers. I'm expecting to use both though, so let's go on to my transfer plan. So my transfer plan at the moment, there is one move that's looking pretty likely, and that's to go for Bukayo Saka, and that's obviously for the Kamsi consideration. Now there's a big debate actually about Saka because now that Arsenal have progressed in the Champions League, they have a semi-final against PSG coming up. So if you guys look at their fixtures, we do have kind of Bournemouth, Liverpool, Newcastle and Southampton, but in between there they do have the Champions League 2-legged fixtures. So if these fixtures are anything to go by, like the previous ones, there will be mass rotation, and therefore will Saka even be an option after the blank game week. Now just remember the blank doesn't affect me as I am free hitting next week, but just something to ponder if you guys think that Saka might be rotated in the double game week. My personal opinion is I do feel like he's the best option in terms of captaincy, but after the blank, I don't exactly know how many minutes he's going to be getting. So definitely could see a situation where we do go for Saka before the blank and the double, captain him, and then take him out in game week 35. That might not be the most optimal strategy there to use an extra free transfer on taking Saka out, but as mentioned, this move does look pretty concrete going into double game week 33. Now the obvious replacement is going to be Cole Palmer. He comes in on the same price point, he did drop in price last night, so just watch out for that one if you guys don't have the funds. But this move does look pretty kind of set, especially with the form Cole Palmer is showing. Then the other transfer that might actually come true is going to be this whole Edison injury situation. I'm going to wait till Friday to see if Pep says anything about the injury, but it seems like expectations are a couple of game weeks. Now the most notable replacement is going to be Martinez because I already will have the triple up in Arsenal with Saka, so these two transfers do look pretty safe. The only concern I do have is doing a keeper transfer worth kind of taking Edison to Martinez? I could just start Verbruggen, but I don't think he keeps a clean sheet. I doubt Martinez keeps a clean sheet in either fixture, but there could be some save points. But the one thing to know about Aston Villa is they could progress in the FA Cup. So that either means they're going to have a blank game week fixture in 37 if they do drop out, or a double game week with Bournemouth Spurs in game week 36. So might be kind of future-proofing my team slightly more, so definitely going to be the safe option. I could do something different though. If I don't really think a keeper transfer is worth it, I could do a more attacking switch, something like a Murphy to Rodgers. Now the one thing this would also kind of do is drop Isaac to the bench, so do I think that Rodgers outperforms Isaac with the double game week plus a transfer? Might not exactly be there, let's see how it kind of goes, but maybe worth doing a more attacking transfer than a goalkeeper one. Now in terms of Rodgers and not going for someone like an Isaac to Watkins, I just feel like Rodgers is more nailed at the current moment. I can't decide between Rashford and Watkins who starts up front. So might just go safe, might go for the more conservative approach and go for Rodgers. At least he probably starts the majority of games. Now those are the kind of safe options. I guess going for Rodgers might be more kind of attacking than going for a goalkeeper switch, but there is another plan that might be a bit more spicy. So the first transfer might be actually going for Edison to Raya to complete my Arsenal triple up, as I do believe Raya is more nailed than Saka is. This would therefore mean that I stick on my Mush captain, which might not be that bad, but then I could be differential with my kind of Palmer replacement. So at the moment, I might be actually going for Kevin De Bruyne as my Cole Palmer replacement, completing my Man City triple up. Now this is definitely more spicy, but it might be super differential. You are banking on De Bruyne playing the majority of fixtures, which might not happen with that FA Cup semi-final. He did say he's pain-free though, and therefore I do hope he plays the majority of games, but probably won't, but I guess Saka might not either. At least with De Bruyne, he might be more nailed after kind of blank game week 34, and Man City do have some great fixtures coming up and might be a potential double. But definitely more spicy, more differential, but I don't exactly know if I would go here. I do like the fact that I could fit in Raya in my goalkeeper department though. So you guys let me know what you think about these transfers, also let me know your own transfer plans, and whether you're activating the bench boost, the free hit or the triple captain in double game week 33. Hopefully I see you guys for the deadline stream coming up 1 hour before the deadline. That's going to be on Saturday. Make sure you have those notifications on for notifications when I do go live. But this is basically a video guys. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you guys liked it, and subscribe if you have subscribed yet. Tons of content still to come, including that deadline stream. Hopefully I see you guys there. For the time being, I'm signing off. It's me, Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers, bye.